I'm joined here with Vishnu Prasanna, Grandmaster and long-time trainer of Gukesh. Vishnu, a very special day yesterday. Gukesh crossed 2700 ELO. Tell us your feelings.
Yeah, I'm happy that it's out of his way. It's one less thing to think about, and I think he was pretty casual about it, and he handled it well. He just played his regular game. I think I was not. I don't think he was too concerned about the milestone or anything like that. He just continued. He focused on tournament and went on with his game.
I think it doesn't really impact his mental state because he wants to win the BL tournament. Yes.
Yeah, I think he just wants to do very well. Winning the BL also is like there's no certainty of anything, but he wants to play well every game. I think that's his mode right now. And he was suffering a bit when he was close to the becoming the youngest GM. He could have done it sooner if he had not suffered to achieve that so much. But so probably learned his lesson from there, and now his appetite for chess, and he just wants to play and play well.
So the lesson is that not to really focus on these goals, but rather focus on playing good chess.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, of course. Much easier said than done. But yes, that's the ideal state. Fantastic. You can't always keep it, but you try to.
So Vishnu, tell us a bit about this journey with Gukesh, because I believe that it started a long time ago. Maybe you have started working with him, 7-8 years ago?
No, it was in 2017. So
2017. So it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
So and how did it happen?
No, his father, checked with me if I was. Actually, there was a camp organized by. I organized a camp with some children, from Velamal school. Mr. Velaman, he's in charge for chess there, Varshini's father.
Yes.
And he had asked me to organize camp for some children, and Gukesh was a part of that camp. He had attended the group session. And he was very happy with what I showed him, and it was interesting for him, at least. So, and he didn't have he was working with Karthikeyan before me, and Karthikeyan was P. Karthikeyan, and Master P. Karthikeyan. So he was a bit busy, I suppose, and his father was also looking for somebody to, work seriously with the kid.
So I think first he had started off with a trainer named Vijay Anand, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Vijay Anand from Chennai, yeah.
And then Karthikeyan, and then he started working with you.
Yeah.
And when that started, he was maybe rated around 2100, 20.
He was already 2280, or he was close to 2300.
2300, okay.
Yeah.
I think he had scored his initial IM norms that in 2017 first norm. He also became the under 11 national champion.
The group camp was in June 2017, and we started right after that. And in September, he scored his first IM.
Right. In Malaysia, if I'm not.
Yeah.
and so overall, what was it about Gukesh that you felt special, or did you think he was one of the many kids whom you were training, or you found he was special at that point as well?
No, I was not sure. I mean, there were a lot of good things about him, but he's exceeded my expectations, you can say. And we don't really know what is necessary, to become. You have a lot of good chess qualities, but I think his other qualities made him very special.
Which were?
His appetite for chess and appetite for playing, and tremendous hunger and enthusiasm, and certain discipline and maturity also, which is even when I met him as an 11-year-old or something, you can't really say he's an 11-year-old. He had that kind of a maturity, which the other kids did not. I mean, they were kids. So nothing wrong with that, but I think, Gukesh had some extra maturity, I would say.
When you talk about appetite for chess and hard work, what would be an example of that, or playing chess in general? I know that when it comes to appetite for playing chess, he could play more than 250 games in a calendar year. So
he still could. He will still do that, except for his rating. I mean, but somebody has to stop.
Unfortunately, there are not so many super tournaments or good tournaments happening now for his level. But when it comes to appetite for sort of chess, was it like he could sit for any number of hours working on chess?
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt about that. I mean, sitting alone is also very important. Sitting alone with chess, he could do a lot of that, and I don't think he was doing anything else. And still, he spends almost his entire time with chess. And appetite. I mean, it doesn't start becoming work. At some point, it feels like work.
Yes.
So that doesn't happen very quickly. Even with playing, I mean, not just with preparing or working. I mean, even with playing, you can see that he has the same enthusiasm. Right. Last year, I think he had suffered a bit. He was not as enthusiastic, or I know there was a moment like that, I think, but still, I think it's still he's able to keep playing and play at the same level every day. Sometimes it either you become tired or you're pushing yourself, but he's able to play with at a certain level consistently. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah. So what were the few things that you worked on? I think one of the very special things that has been spoken about a lot in the chess circles is his non-usage of engines till a certain point. Could you throw a bit of light on that and how it developed?
No, it was just an idea, and I recommended it to many people, but Gukesh was the only guy who decided to try it or follow it. And
so the idea was, don't use chess engines. It's simple. Yeah, one line.
Yeah, I mean, I said it doesn't really make much of a difference at this level. At the higher level, I don't know. I said we can figure it out when you get there. But at this level, games are always shifting. The assessment is shifting, and anyway, it's more important to find out what you are thinking about rather than what is the best move or something like that. So don't worry too much about what the engine says or stuff like that. I mean, so I don't think practically it makes any relevance. So, but you need a lot of confidence, and trust in the idea when you go to the board. I mean, you know that the other guy is using engine. So unless you trust the idea, I mean, you're going to hesitate a lot and it will not work for you.
You also have to trust the coach, right? Because I think when it comes to opening preparation, you used to help him before the game with some ideas, and he has to trust the ideas you have shown because he doesn't double check it with an engine back in the day.
Yeah. He doesn't double check. And it was not like we were preparing game by game. We were choosing systems and ideas which were... he didn't like to prepare too much before the game. And whatever we were deciding before the events. And of course, during the events when he was playing a lot, we will discuss some lines. But one game that comes to my mind was like his game against Alexander. I mentioned that to you, but in the Mayor's Cup, and it was some random line, and he was still not using computers at the point. So
I remember he had made some opening error, right, in that game.
Not an opening error, but it's not like a sound opening. I mean, okay, it's a playable opening, but in the culture I grew up in and how I was, how I understood to study openings and play openings, it felt wrong to me. But I said when he said he was going to play that, I just thought it would be an interesting experiment.
He was white.
Yeah.
And he played this pawn sacrifice line, which if you look at the engine at this point, and by the way, I checked the game when it happened, and it showed like equal plus 0.6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter so much to him. He's fine with such things. This line should probably be ended in a draw somewhere.
Right. I think somewhere Alexandro went wrong, and then Gukesh got a very solid edge.
Yeah, King H1, I think, and Rook D8 was probably the mistake.
You mean here?
Yeah, Knight E3. Yeah, Knight G5 was a mistake.
Right.
Black has to play some Rook D8 and then F5 or something. Some theory. Still, it's okay for white. But yeah, approaching, he was comfortable with going here. That was interesting.
But if you don't know the engine evaluation, you just find it as an interesting position, right, to play.
Yeah. It was just a psychological idea, to see how much you can trust yourself and stuff. And at the end of the day, at the level, I said there will be mistakes from both sides. So you're just taking a chance. And that way you understand your own thinking process better.
So yeah, that is one. And now that he has constantly been improving, I think there has not been since the pandemic the games have restarted. He has been moving strength to strength. He was around 2600 around that, and now he's gained 100 elo points. So how has this entire approach of no engine usage changed?
No, now he still uses the engine for openings. But you can see that he has his own understanding, and he neither argues with the engine or accepts what it says, right? You can put it like that. And he will do what he wants. And you can say that it's some things that the engine recommends. If it's interesting, then he will go for it. Yeah. But he has his own perception of chess, and which helps him find ideas.
Right. When he was young, he used to always play this Reti system, knight f3, g3, bg2, and continued it till I think he became a GM as well. And now he plays 1 e4, he plays 1 d4. He's just widened his repertoire in all senses. So that must not be so simple, right? Because I have seen people playing one system till maybe, let's say, 2100, 2200, but then till all the way up to GM.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing mostly 1 d4, no? Occasionally 1 e4. And I wouldn't say openings is a strength still. I mean, for his level, it's fine. But, if you look at it from an opening perspective, it's not like he's the strongest. He's the most well-prepared guy or something. And his strengths lies elsewhere, in practical play and practical decision. And I strongly believe that. But nowadays, it's very easy to prepare openings. There's just too many tools and technology that allow you to prepare something. That's what I mean. Once you have the understanding, you can absorb all that information very quickly. And so developing that one understanding is the more difficult part. And he spent most of his time working on that. I think he still needs work on his openings, but I think right now, I don't think playing anything new would be a big difficulty for him.
But when you talk about this understanding, improving that, it involves a lot of things. And is it like a process which develops with a student, or is it something that you have figured out as a trainer? That, okay, this is the things that need to be done to develop understanding in a student.
Understanding develops by thinking. So you give the student something to think about. And, everybody has their own natural tendencies and graphs. And, you try to find something that they find interesting. I think as a trainer, all you can do is make the guy think and surprise him with some ideas or portions which he would not expect. Even playing d4, right? It's not like he knows everything, but even a few years ago, pre-COVID, he's played a lot of games where he plays sharp lines where you only know 5-6 moves of theory, and after that he figures things out over the board. He was not afraid of that. Just like in the Alexandro game, he was okay with
on his own.
Yeah, even other systems. He's playing some Queen's Indian systems. Bishop A6, Queen C2, which is very sharp, but mostly played them over the board. And he's very happy with that.
Gukesh used to tell me once, like, there was this camp of Kramnik that was held, and I was talking to him, and he said that if I have enough time with me, I can figure out the best move in any position. That was his confidence level.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he always believed that, and I think a lot of thinking led to that. I mean, he just kept thinking, and at some point, okay, he's able to figure out means, okay, then we used to do that also, sometimes we used to train some sharp novelties and he would respond to those novelties in training.
Mm.
And very often he would be more accurate than what was played in the game.
Wow.
So we used to do, just to react to surprises and stuff like that in sharp portions. So if there's some new novelty, we just try that. I just try that out with him, play out this portion and solve this problem. And he was able to do such things.
Amazing. There's one thing about Gukesh which I see in his games. Like, for example, in a position like this, I mean, I don't know if I'm right, but maybe you are the person to say it. Like, let's say this is his game against Lei Kwong Liam yesterday, and he makes moves like Queen D7. This is something which I see a lot in his games. This is one example. There was this moment in this game itself, King D2, and like my understanding, you should force, and he goes like King C7. So I don't know if this is something where he has learned this art of keeping a game going. Is it something you've seen?
Yeah, King C7 was a very cool move. It has a very concrete idea, right? So the idea is to checkmate the guy. So
yeah, I understand, but somehow in my mind, such a move may not even occur at this point. And
definitely. I don't know if he got it from me or it's natural to him, but we definitely discuss such things. And the game is usually not like a punch, and then you knock out the opponent, but punch, then jab or
right. This is his style. And the thing is that accuracy level of play goes not just in the first half or but even in time pressure. I think when he makes an inaccurate move, he's like, I should be accurate. That's the level he tries to maintain.
Yeah, I think accuracy is required. I mean, he also got a good bit of experience by playing in this Champions Chess Tour with these big guys, and that probably enlightened him into being much faster. I think he realized that he had to be much faster and much precise at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the easiest part of this for him. I think being accurate in such portions like what he got yesterday, that is the easiest part.
Right. So
waiting is something we have worked on a lot. I mean, not forcing things and waiting is something we worked on and discussed a lot. Yeah.
It needs strong nerves, right, to do that.
Yeah. You can see that in the rapid, I was not happy. Yeah, there was a bit of forcing in this play. And I haven't talked to him about it yet, but classically,
maybe he will see this and he will get your message. Yeah. So the thing is that he's become the third youngest ever 2700, the youngest ever in India, the sixth player in India to cross 2700. Does this come as something which is a natural thing? Do you think that he would have reached anyway 2700, or this is very quick for you, like at the age of 16 years and 2 months?
No, I don't know 16 years, but when we started post-COVID, I told him that this is your year to become 2700. So I mean, post-COVID, I thought he was ready, and because he worked a lot, and there's a lot of pent-up enthusiasm, and he really worked a lot without any breaks, even during COVID. And so I thought working on some other things would, make sure that he gets there. Like, I think he's mentally also has become stronger, and he's able to recover well from setbacks. After losing to Prague in the Reykjavik Open, I was a bit, and then he went on to win these 3 tournaments,
right,
which was very impressive. Yeah. So I mean, I think those things he has improved a lot, and still there's a lot that area you can always definitely improve, but more and more. But so I always thought he was ready. When we started post-COVID, I thought he was ready to go to 27. Yeah.
And as a trainer, what do you think is needed for him next, to move up to 2750 and forward? What are the things that he would need?
No, there are many weaknesses in his play, and weaknesses and also approaches to this, and also he needs more experience playing the top base, and maybe then his openings will be questioned. I don't know, right? So we have to wait and see for that, and probably facing an exposure against these top guys would, at some point you realize that it's a different brand of chess out there, and everyone else is a different brand of chess, So
You think so? Like you also feel?
There's no, it's a different world, I think, and
In terms of just opening preparation or even later on?
no, anything. I think resistance and there's even if they're not going to gift you anything, and they're going to, even if you put in all the effort and get an advantage, they're going to lay down their life before you give you that point.
Right.
So such things, such mental things, and definitely opening preparation. Whether you can nudge that guy into doing something, get that advantage or whatever it is. Whether you can trouble the guy or not is a question about when you go up there.
Mm.
So, but we manage it.
So what do you see your role? Because at first it would be hardcore trainer, right? Because you are always training him all the time, teaching. You yourself are a strong player. I guess it evolved more as a mentor, trying to guide him. Now, is it still like, how much of it is chess oriented? How much of it is mental? How much of it is just talking to him?
It's mostly chess nowadays. Mental. He's become much stronger now, and still, when some things go wrong, I talk to him. But I think he's doing most. I don't want to intervene when everything is going well, and I don't know if I can right now offer any advice in that area. So when there's a crisis or something, we can discuss. But mostly it's been chess and openings and approaches also. How to approach the game and approach an opponent. And approach it and looking at his games as well and some of his decisions, whether they were right or not. And there is no after now, there's no clear right way or wrong way to do it all. You cannot surely say that it's a mistake. If it's a mistake, if it's a clear mistake, he already knows it's a mistake. Right. So there's nothing for me to say. So there's some discussion about some of those decisions, whether we could have done something differently there.
And I think in this entire journey, you too would have evolved a lot, right, as a trainer. And
yeah, definitely. And I'm much more flexible now, I think, and I can see whatever he wants, and I understand that. Not just Gukesh and I have a very, very simple relationship, and we get along very, very well and completely trust each other. So I think it's been very easy with him. But even otherwise, I've evolved.
And a few things, we spoke a lot about on the board, his qualities. But even apart from that, do you think a lot of things there are some very bold decisions that have been taken by him and his family? And, in terms of other things, what are the things that have worked for him?
Oh, definitely. His family is their ideal chess parents, you would say. You can make a model out of them and say this is how parents should be. And his father has been an amazing support for him. And they have their own relationship, which is underestimated probably. Gukesh is not a nice guy or a very level-headed guy also. He can be upset during tournaments, and as any chess player is. So his dad handles that very well. And that's a tremendous support, that's whether boy is doing well or not, and you're just there for him. And every player, what he wants to do is just think about the game and nothing else. And his father is especially, traveling and giving up his practice to travel. And
he's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor, and it's a very difficult thing to do. Also, I mean, sportsman's temperament and finding out what probably he just treats him as a son. That's why it works. Right? So I'm looking at it differently, but So his father and of course mother also. She's probably waiting for Gukesh to come home at some point, and the guy keeps going tournament to tournament. But they've both been very, very incredible, and without that, I think he would not have succeeded. So definitely, they play a huge part.
So I think there are a few elements that I see from this that are needed to succeed. One is that the player himself should have good qualities in him, should love chess, should have the ability to work. The second is a good trainer and like someone who can guide you along your chess path, which you are very strongly fulfilling it. Good parents, good support system. Would there be anything else that is needed for a player to reach? Because we see his journey till 2700. Of course, it will still continue, but already this is a big milestone for many of the youngsters who are aiming to reach here.
There is no path. I think it's just environment and destiny, probably. And Gukesh has not suffered from anything, and he's had a fairly smooth life. So if somebody is from a place of crisis, and there are a lot of things that you cannot control in life, but even with COVID, for example, people would have suffered, and what are you going to do about that? You're not going to think about 2700 or something like that. Correct. So a lot of things has to happen rightly for you, and provided that happens, and you just have to make use of that.
But then when you talk about, of course, I completely agree with you, but let's say a decision like schooling that he has taken. This is not something, if someone would have gone through the motions, he would have gone to school every day or quite a significant amount of time. This is where they took things in their own hands, right? By not saying, we don't want to go to school.
No, school is fine, but I mean, he became a GM at 12. I mean, I don't think that age is easy to decide.
Right.
I mean, and you can see, Gukesh was never going to do anything except chess anyway. And I don't think he listens to his parents or something like that. So we should not assume that also. So, I mean, probably it was easier for him to make that decision. But definitely, you can see that laser focus, probably that this boy's laser focus on the game that provided comfort, but confidence to the parents. And it's like I'm not seeing anything like that boy, and I don't say that easily, but so.
And you have seen many, like not just as a trainer, you as a player, you have traveled the world.
I've seen a lot of brilliant young kids also. I mean, apart from Gukesh, and especially in his own way.
Amazing. And you told me about a couple of games. Can we just have a look at a key moment or something which impressed you in those games?
Yeah, sure.
So there was this one game which you mentioned about Hyman, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was, let me pull it up.
He had a similar game in the same opening against Karthik Venkatram in Indian National Championship.
Oh, that was one of my favorite games.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I had analyzed it, I felt like, wow, what a game this was. And then he told me, a similar idea was played in Anish, Vidit Gujarati versus Anish Giri, that game. Okay. So he had looked at it and then he got it.
No, you can say that these two games, show his changing style as well, and personality. And so first, when I met Gukesh early on, one thing I could say about him easily was that, he was very unhappy with bad pawn structures. And such static things always bothered him at the time. Mm-hmm. But that has completely changed now. And no trace of that remains actually. And I cannot say, he thinks like that anymore at all. So you can say this game is kind of an example of how he has changed.
When you talk about static, it means like, these pawns are sort of
Yeah.
hanging, and c6 is a weakness.
Yeah, you would be concerned about these things in the past, but not anymore.
Right. I think he uses his h pawn also pretty well.
A lot. And a lot of Magnus influences. I mean, I think he even played Reti because of the World Championship matches. A lot of Reti, So suddenly, when we analyze, he keeps pushing, and I ask him, "Why are you doing this?" And it's an interesting idea. He keeps, convincing me. So much is going on, and you want to push the But yeah, nowadays, more often than not, they are decent ideas also. Yeah. So sometimes I guess that's how it is.
Yeah, h4, bishop b4 takes, rook d1, and I when the pawn is pushed to h3, I like to call it Gukesh touch there, because that game, especially of Karthik Venkatraman, and even here, I think it is just a great asset.
You won 2 games in the same way. Probably.
Exactly. So this game actually we have analyzed on ChessBase India. You can check it out. It is there. To the viewers, I would say. But the special part of this game, you would say, is that the pawn structure basically, and him being ready to
the sense of dynamism. When you have these Kramnik camps, and especially after some game that Kramnik told me that Kramnik has texted him that his dynamism was poor and something like that. Kramnik had told him something about that. So I still don't know. Probably I don't know which is stronger for him now, but he's completely changed in that. So all those has also been very useful for him. Given some window of these giants like Vishy, Kramnik, Gelfand, he also had the opportunity to have a one-on-one talk with them and converse with them. That makes a definite difference, right? These are all guys who I was, world champions when I started playing. And
right.
It's nice.
I think the Microsense Kramnik camp in France, then in Chennai, and now he works regularly with Anand in Westbridge Anand Chess Academy, and with Sandipan and Yusupov and Gaevsky. I think that's a very good setup, right, for him.
Yeah. Any conversation, with Vishy has some inbuilt wisdom to it. And with his experience, you can ask something to Vishy itself means that, what else do you need? Right? So he's going to face a lot of things, a lot of exposed to a lot of new challenges, right? So Waka will be a huge asset in that as well.
Yeah, this is a great thing for Gukesh. And one final game was the one against Matthew Cornett, which you had mentioned here. And what was something that you liked in this game overall?
No, just a changing approach. And you can say, Matthew Cornett is actually a very, very well prepared player and a strong theoretician, I believe. He's written a lot of openings books and he's very good in theory. And also a very strong player. So what was interesting to me about this game was that both players were happy to go into a position. And both of them assessed the position very differently.
This F5 move, yes?
Yeah. So overall, this position, I think both of them had. I believe some correspondents actually went with the A4 in this position instead of F5. But F5 is also fine, according to the computer. And, Gukesh was very happy with this position. And Matthew was also happy to go into his black. But, so it was probably easier for white to play rather than black, But it was, the engine evaluation was equal. These moves, Rook E2 was such a beautiful. The way he rearranges pieces now, it's very difficult and it's a very, very, very nice game. And I think, this shows his own perception of the game, even though the engine is like saying it's equal or something like that. And it's actually easier for white to play. He recognizes that, and that's one of his strengths, I think. Not just assessment, but can I play this well or not? And such things is really good at. Yeah.
So basically, he understands himself as a player, and he uses engine as a tool to sort of see, okay, can I do this better, rather than just saying, oh, engine recommends this, let me play it.
Yeah, definitely. It's never like engine recommends it. Like, he never does that, I think. So always starts with what do I want and what does the engine say?
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
what does it mean?
This is the Zugzwang now with h4, and
Yeah, it's a very cool idea.
at the end he takes here and the game is over. So because now this will fall with a check here. But amazing, Vishnu. It was tremendous talking to you, and I think you yourself. You yourself have reduced the amount of trainings that you do, because you are now a father and you also have to take care of your daughter. But I think with Gukesh, the amount of time you spend has kind of remained consistent.
Yeah, we work in between events, and he's also playing a lot this year. I think more than usual, and so I think after this Olympiad, and I think he has another event after that, we will regroup and see what to do, and we'll continue to work on see how to go forward.
For me and for I think the chess world, this is a milestone that he reached 2700. But I think in the story of you and Gukesh, this is just the continuation of the path that's going on. Will there ever be a milestone, Vishnu?
I don't know. That's for him to say. I'm happy for him, and it's a nice feeling to be 27 for sure. Right. But not to overthink things.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.